My beloved child, this is not an ordinary night. Out of all the moments in your life, out of all the voices you could be listening to, you are here, hearing these words. And I want you to understand something deeply. This is not by accident. Tonight carries something sacred within it. Tonight, I am speaking directly to you. I know how this day has felt. I have seen the quiet sighs you tried to hide. I have heard the thoughts you did not dare to say out loud. The questions that circled your mind like restless birds. The heaviness that followed you from room to room. You may have smiled for others. You may have kept moving forward. But inside, there has been a weight. And I have been watching over you with eyes full of love. There is a reason you needed this message tonight. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Tonight. Because something in your heart has been reaching for reassurance. Something within you has been whispering, "Do you see me? Do you still care? Is anything going to change?" My beloved child, I hear every whisper of your soul. Perhaps you feel tired in a way that sleep alone cannot fix. Perhaps you are carrying concerns about your future, your family, your purpose. Maybe you are fighting silent battles no one else knows about. You wonder if you are strong enough. You wonder if you will make it through this season. And even as you try to distract yourself, the ache remains. That is why I am interrupting your night. I am stepping into this moment to remind you that you are not alone in your struggle. I have not stepped away from your story. I have not grown distant. Even in the moments when you felt silence, I was near. Even when you thought nothing was moving, I was already working behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet see. Tonight is a turning point, not because everything around you will change instantly, but because something within you is about to shift. I am drawing you closer to my heart. I am inviting you to pause, to breathe, and to let my presence settle over you like a gentle covering. You may not have realized how much you needed this reassurance, but I know. I know the precise hour when your strength begins to feel thin. I know the exact moment when doubt tries to speak louder than hope. And I am here now, speaking louder than your fear. My beloved child, lean in. Let these words wrap around you. Let your guarded heart soften. This is a special message for you tonight because I refuse to let you fall asleep believing you are forgotten, unseen, or unloved. You are deeply known. You are carefully held. And before this night is over, you will remember that I am closer than your next breath. My beloved child, there are battles you fight that no one applauds. There are struggles that never make it into conversation, never show up in photographs, never receive sympathy because no one even knows they exist. But I know. I see the wars that rage quietly within you. I see the way you replay conversations in your mind, wondering if you said the wrong thing. I see the way you question your worth when someone pulls away. I see how you carry responsibility on your shoulders, trying to be strong for everyone else while your own heart grows tired. You have become skilled at holding yourself together. You have learned how to function even when you feel fractured inside. But my beloved child, just because others do not see your struggle does not mean it is small. And just because you have managed to survive it does not mean it has not been heavy. You fight fear in silence. You wrestle with doubt when the room is quiet. You smile during the day, yet at night your thoughts grow louder. You compare yourself to others and feel like you are falling behind. You wonder if you missed your moment. You wonder if you are too late. And sometimes, you wonder if you are simply too much for the people around you. Listen to me carefully. You are not too much. You are not behind. And you have not missed your moment. There is a reason I call you my beloved child. Not because you are perfect, not because you have never struggled, but because you are mine. And a loving father does not overlook the pain of his child. Imagine a warrior who fights bravely in a hidden valley, far from crowds and recognition. No one cheers. No one sees the effort. Yet every swing of the sword matters. Every step forward is significant. That is you. You may feel unseen, but heaven has witnessed every act of courage. Every time you chose not to give up. Every time you kept going when quitting felt easier. Every time you swallowed your tears and tried again. You not mistake silence for absence. When you cried quietly into your pillow, I was there. When you stared at the ceiling, overwhelmed with uncertainty, I was there. When your chest felt tight with anxiety and you did not know how to explain it, I was there. You have asked, why is this so hard? And sometimes the answer is not punishment, not failure, not abandonment. Sometimes the struggle is shaping strength in you that you will need later. Sometimes the pressure is forming depth within your spirit. A tree that stands tall above the ground must first grow roots deep below it. The deeper the roots, the stronger the tree can stand when storms arrive. Your silent battles are not wasted. They are building resilience. They are carving compassion into your heart. They are teaching you how to rely on me in ways comfort never could. But hear me now. You were never meant to fight alone. You do not have to carry every thought by yourself. You do not have to solve every problem in your own strength. Lay your invisible burdens before me. Speak your fears aloud to me. I am not intimidated by your questions. I am not disappointed by your weakness. I am drawn to your honesty. My beloved child, I am not measuring you by how well you hide your pain. I am moved by your persistence. I am proud of your endurance. Even when you feel fragile, I see courage woven into your spirit. Tonight, I want you to release the idea that no one understands. I understand. More than that, I am involved. I am working within places you cannot yet see. The very areas where you feel pressure are the areas where breakthrough is forming. So breathe slowly. Let your shoulders relax. The battle that feels overwhelming to you is not overwhelming to me. I stand beside you in every unseen fight. And before this season is over, you will look back and realize that what tried to break you actually revealed how strong you truly are. You are not alone in your silent battles. I am here, and I have never looked away. My beloved child, let us speak about today, not yesterday, not the distant past, just today, because even in these last few hours, you have carried more than you realize. From the moment you opened your eyes, there were expectations waiting for you, responsibilities, conversations, decisions. You stepped into the day already feeling a little tired, yet you pushed yourself forward. You told yourself, just get through it. And you did. But it cost you something. I saw the moment your heart sank. That message you received. A tone in someone's voice. A disappointment that brushed against your hope. You tried not to let it show. You swallowed the emotion quickly and kept going. But it stayed with you, didn't it? It followed you quietly like a shadow. You carried pressure today. Pressure to provoke. Pressure to be patient. Pressure to understand. Pressure to provide. Pressure to fix what feels broken. And even when no one said it out loud, you felt responsible for holding everything together. My beloved child, you were never meant to hold everything together on your own. You have been walking around with invisible weights tied to your spirit. Each worry adds another stone. Each unresolved question adds another layer. Each what if presses a little harder on your chest. and by the time night arrives, you feel drained without fully knowing why. Let me tell you something gently. You do not have to carry today into tomorrow. Imagine a traveler walking a long road with a heavy backpack. At first, it seems manageable. But mile after mile, the straps begin to dig into the shoulders. The back begins to ache. The steps grow slower. Now imagine that traveler reaching a safe resting place, yet refusing to take the backpack off. That, my beloved child, is what you sometimes do with your worries. Even when you have reached the quiet of the night, you still keep the weight strapped tightly to your heart. Tonight, I am inviting you to take it off. The conversation that didn't go the way you hoped. Place it in my hands. A mistake you keep replaying. Place it in my hands. The uncertainty about finances, relationships, opportunities. Place it in my hands. The fear that tomorrow may bring more than you can handle. Place it in my hands. You may ask, but what if nothing changes? Listen closely. Release is not about pretending the problem disappears. Release is about trusting that you are not alone in solving it. When you let me carry what overwhelms you, you make room for peace to enter. You have been braver than you think today. You showed up even when you felt fragile. You tried even when you doubted yourself. You held your tongue when anger wanted to speak. You kept going when quitting whispered softly in your ear. You not overlook your own quiet strength. But strength does not mean endless striving. Even the strongest heart needs rest. Even the most faithful spirit needs reassurance. My beloved child, I do not measure your worth by how much you accomplish in a single day. I do not love you more on productive days or less on difficult ones. My love for you does not rise and fall with your performance. It remains steady, unshaken, constant. So tonight, as the world grows quieter, let this be your moment of surrender. Let your mind unclench. Let your breathing slow. Let the weight slide from your shoulders. You do not need to rehearse tomorrow's problems before they arrive. I am already in your tomorrow. The same hands that formed you are strong enough to hold what concerns you. The same voice that called you beloved is steady enough to guide your steps. Nothing you faced today surprised me. Nothing you struggled with disqualified you. Nothing you feared is greater than my care for you. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine placing every burden at my feet. See yourself walking away lighter. See yourself breathing easier. That is not weakness. That is trust. My beloved child, today was heavy, but it does not have to define you. Lay it down. I am here, and I will carry what you no longer need to hold. My beloved child, there have been moments when you felt invisible. Moments when you wondered if anyone truly noticed your effort, your kindness, your quiet endurance. Perhaps you have even wondered if I noticed. When prayers seemed to echo back without an answer. When days passed and nothing appeared to change. When doors remained closed and silence stretched longer than you expected. In those moments, a small whisper tried to convince you that you were forgotten. But listen to me now with all your heart. You are not forgotten. Before you were aware of me, I was aware of you. Before you ever spoke my name, I knew yours. I know the rhythm of your thoughts. I know the memories that still sting when they surface. I know the dreams you once held tightly and the ones you quietly let go of because waiting felt too painful. There is nothing about you that slips past my attention. Imagine a craftsman carefully carving a piece of wood. Every detail matters. Every line is intentional. He does not step away halfway through and forget what he started. In the same way, I do not begin a work in your life and then abandon it. What I start, I complete. What I promise, I fulfill. Even when the carving process feels slow, even when the shape is not yet clear, my hands are still steady. You may not see movement, but that does not mean I am still. You may not feel change, but that does not mean nothing is happening. There are seasons in life that feel like waiting rooms. You sit there, watching others get called forward, wondering when your name will be spoken. And in that waiting, doubt creeps in. Maybe I was overlooked. Maybe I was Skip. My beloved child, heaven does not misplace names. Your life is not an accident lost in a crowd. Your name is written with intention. Your story is held with care. When you felt overlooked at work, when you felt unappreciated in relationships, when you gave your best and it seemed unnoticed, I saw it all. I saw the effort. I saw the tears you hid. I saw the courage it took to keep loving when you felt tired of trying. You are not forgotten in your prayers. Even the ones you whispered months ago are still alive before me. Time does not erase your requests. Silence does not cancel my faithfulness. Answers sometimes take root beneath the surface before they rise into view. Think of a seed planted deep in the soil. From the outside, the ground looks unchanged. There is no sign of life. But beneath that surface, something miraculous is happening. Roots are forming. Growth is beginning in darkness. And when the moment is right, what was hidden will break through the soil. That is how I work in your life. My beloved child, if you could see the conversations I am having on your behalf, the doors I am positioning, the hearts I am preparing, you would realize that you have never been forgotten for a single second. Even your waiting has purpose. Even your silence has meaning. Even this very night is part of something greater than you understand. I am closer than your doubt. I am stronger than your fear. I am more faithful than your past disappointments. And I am deeply attentive to every detail of your journey. So when that whisper tries to return, the one that says you have been overlooked, answer it with truth. You are seen. You are known. You are remembered. Not vaguely, not distantly, but intimately and completely. My beloved child, rest in this certainty. I have not forgotten you. I never will. My beloved child, I know this season has felt intense. There are days when the pressure seems unrelenting, when the challenges arrive one after another without pause. You have wondered quietly, how much more can I take? You have questioned whether this season is shaping you or slowly breaking you. Hear me clearly tonight. This season will not break you. It may stretch you. It may refine you. It may expose places within your heart that need healing. But it will not destroy you. What you are walking through is not designed to crush you, but to strengthen you in ways you cannot yet measure. Think of gold placed into fire. The fire is not meant to ruin the gold. It is meant to remove what does not belong. The heat reveals purity. It separates weakness from strength. When the process is finished, the gold shines brighter than before. My beloved child, the fire you feel is not punishment. It is preparation. You have faced disappointment that shook your confidence. You have endured uncertainty that made you question your direction. You have carried responsibilities that felt heavier than your capacity. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still hoping, even if only faintly. That is strength. Do not confuse exhaustion with defeat. You may feel tired, but you are not defeated. You may feel uncertain, but you are not abandoned. You may feel stretched thin, but you are not breaking. There is a resilience inside you that even you have not fully discovered. It is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet and steady. It is the reason you get up again. It is the reason you keep trying. It is the reason you still care, even after being hurt. I place that resilience within you. Imagine a tree during a violent storm. The winds howl. The rain beats down. Branches sway wildly. From a distance, it looks as though the tree might snap. But what cannot be seen are the roots gripping the earth beneath the surface. The deeper the roots, the stronger the hold. When the storm passes, the tree remains, not because the storm was weak, but because the roots were strong. Your roots are deeper than you realize. Every trial has driven you further into dependence on me. Every challenge has forced you to grow in patience, in endurance, in compassion. Even your tears have watered the soil of your growth. My beloved child, I am not watching from afar while you struggle. I am actively shaping this season for your good. What feels like chaos to you is not chaos to me. I see the beginning and the end. I see how this chapter will lead to new strength, new clarity, new confidence. There will come a day when you look back at this very season and say, I did not understand it at the time, but it changed me for the better. The pain will not define you. The struggle will not have the final word. The season is temporary. It has boundaries. It has an expiration. It does not have permission to last forever. But the strength it is building in you, that will remain. So when the pressure feels overwhelming, breathe deeply and remember that you are not fragile glass about to shatter. You are being refined. You are being strengthened. You are becoming wiser, steadier, more grounded. And I am with you through every moment of it. My beloved child, trust me when I say this. What you are going through will not break you. It is shaping you into someone stronger than you have ever been before. My beloved child, I want to speak gently to the part of you that is afraid. The part you try to silence. The part you pretend is not there. The quiet fears that rise when the lights are off and the distractions fade. The thoughts that ask, what if this doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if I lose what I love? Fear has a way of making itself comfortable in your mind. It repeats worst-case scenarios. It paints pictures of loss and disappointment. It convinces you to prepare for battles that may never come. And slowly, without noticing, you begin carrying fear like a constant companion. But you were never meant to carry fear. Fear may knock on your door, but it does not have to live in your house. It may whisper in your ear, but it does not get to define your future. Tonight, I am inviting you to lay your fears down. I know the specific fears that trouble you. The fear of not being enough. The fear of being left behind. The fear that your efforts will not be rewarded. The fear that something precious could slip through your fingers. The fear of uncertainty, of change, of stepping into the unknown. These fears feel real. They feel powerful. But they are not stronger than my love for you. Imagine a small child holding a heavy stone, convinced that if they let go, something terrible will happen. Their hands grow tired, their arms ache, but they refuse to release it. All the while, a loving father stands nearby, ready to take the weight from them. My beloved child, you are holding stones you were never meant to carry. You think holding on to fear keeps you safe, but it only exhausts you. When you cling to fear, your heart tightens. Your thoughts race. Your sleep becomes restless. You try to control every outcome, every detail, every possibility. And still, peace feels distant. Let me ask you something gently. Has fear ever truly protected you? Or has it only stolen your joy in the present? The future you are worried about does not exist yet. The worst-case scenario your mind imagines is only a shadow, not reality. but my presence with you is real. My protection over you is real. My guidance for you is real. You do not have to solve tomorrow tonight. Lay your fears before me like placing stones at my feet. Name them if you must. Speak them honestly. I am not disappointed by your fears. I am not surprised by them. I am not ashamed of your vulnerability. I simply want to carry what weighs you down. When you release fear, you make room for trust. Trust does not mean pretending everything is certain. It means believing that even if the path is unclear, you are not walking it alone. I go before you into every unknown place. I stand beside you in every uncertain moment. I remain behind you, guarding what you have already passed through. There is no corner of your life where I am absent. My beloved child, breathe deeply right now. Feel the tension in your shoulders. Notice the tightness in your chest. Now imagine my hands gently lifting that weight from you. You do not have to hold it anymore. Fear will try to return. It may knock again tomorrow, but you can choose again and again to place it in my hands. You can choose to trust that my love is greater than your worry. You are safer than you think. You are more supported than you realize. And your future is not at the mercy of your fear. Lay it down, my beloved child. Let me carry what you cannot. My beloved child, there have been moments when you felt distant from me. Moments when your prayers felt like they were rising into empty space. Moments when you searched for a sign, a feeling, a clear answer, and nothing seemed to come. In those quiet spaces, doubt tried to whisper, maybe he is far away. But I am closer than you think. I am not measured by feelings. I am not limited by your emotions. When your heart feels warm and certain, I am there. When your heart feels numb and unsure, I am still there. My presence does not fade when your awareness does. Think of the air you breathe. You do not see it, yet it fills your lungs every second. You rarely think about it, yet it sustains your life. In the same way, my presence surrounds you constantly. You may not always sense me, but I am sustaining you, guiding you, holding you together. I am in the quiet moments of your day. I am there when you sit alone in your car, lost in thought. I am there when you scroll through your phone, trying to distract your mind. I am there in the silence of your room at night. I am there in the middle of conversations, even when you feel misunderstood. There has never been a single second of your life where I stepped away. When you felt abandoned, I was near. When you questioned your direction, I was guiding steps you did not even notice. When you felt like giving up, it was my quiet strength within you that kept you going. My beloved child, closeness with me is not about dramatic signs or overwhelming emotions. It is about relationship. And relationship grows in trust, in stillness, in simple awareness. Sometimes you expect me to shout, but often I whisper. Not because I am weak, but because intimacy does not need volume. A father does not need to shout to be present with his child. He sits beside them. He listens. He speaks gently. That is how I am with you. Imagine walking through a dark valley at night. The path is unclear. The shadows feel intimidating. But beside you walks someone holding a lantern. Even if you cannot see the entire road ahead, you can see the next step. That is how I guide you. I do not always reveal the whole journey at once, but I illuminate what you need for this moment. You have asked for clarity. You have asked for reassurance. Sometimes the answer you are seeking is not information, it is my presence. And I am already here. Place your hand over your heart for a moment and breathe. That steady rhythm you feel is not random. It is sustained by my design. Every breath you take is evidence that I am near. When loneliness creeps in, remember this truth. You may feel alone, but you are never by yourself. There is a difference. Feelings can shift quickly. Reality does not. And the reality is this: I dwell closer than your next thought. My beloved child, stop searching for me as if I am far away. Instead, become aware that I am already here. In your room. In your car. In your workplace. In your uncertainty. In your joy. In your questions. I walk with you in ordinary moments. I stand beside you in extraordinary ones. I sit with you in silence. I rejoice with you in victory. You do not have to reach far to find me. You only need to recognize that I have never left. I am closer than you think. My beloved child, there are wounds within you that did not happen yesterday. They are not fresh, yet they are not fully healed. You have learned to live around them. You have adjusted your behavior to protect them. You have built quiet walls to keep them from being touched again. But I see those wounds. Some were caused by words spoken carelessly. Some were caused by promises broken. Some were caused by rejection that cut deeper than you expected. And some were formed in moments when you needed comfort but found yourself alone instead. You told yourself to move on. You told yourself to be strong. You told yourself it should not matter anymore. Yet every now and then, something small brushes against that old place, and the ache returns as if it never left. My beloved child, healing is not weakness. Acknowledging pain is not failure. And needing restoration does not mean you lack faith. Imagine a deep cut that was never cleaned properly. The surface may close, but underneath, infection can remain. True healing requires gentle care. It requires attention. It requires time. In the same way, the wounds of your heart cannot be rushed or ignored into wholeness. I am not impatient with your healing process. You may wonder why certain memories still sting, why certain names still trigger emotion, why certain situations still make your hesitate. It is because your heart remembers what hurt it. But that does not mean it must remain wounded forever. Healing with me is like the slow rising of the sun. Darkness does not disappear in a single second. It gradually fades as light increases. At first, you may not even notice the change. But little by little, warmth replaces cold. Clarity replaces shadow. That is what I am doing within you. When you bring your old wounds to me, I do not reopen them to cause more pain. I gently cleanse them. I speak truth over the lies that formed in those moments. Lies like, you are not enough. Lies like, you will always be abandoned. Lies like, you cannot trust anyone. Those are not my words over you. My words over you are steady and healing. You are worthy of love. You are not defined by who left. You are not permanently damaged by what happened. My beloved child, you do not have to harden your heart to survive. You do not have to build walls so high that even love cannot reach you. I did not design your heart to live in constant defense. I designed it to feel, to love, to connect. The fact that you still care, even after being hurt, is not foolishness. It is evidence of the beauty I placed within you. But you cannot carry old pain forever. It will exhaust you. It will distort how you see yourself and others. That is why I am inviting you tonight to let me begin a deeper healing. You do not have to relive every detail. You do not have to force forgiveness instantly. You simply have to open your heart and say, "Help me heal." That is enough for me to begin. I am gentle with broken places. I do not press where you are tender. I restore slowly, carefully, lovingly. And as I heal you, you will notice something remarkable. The wound that once defined you will no longer control you. It will become part of your story, but not the center of it. My beloved child, you are not meant to live wounded. You are meant to live whole. And tonight, even in small ways, healing is beginning. My beloved child, there is something sacred about your tears. You may see them as weakness. You may wipe them away quickly, embarrassed that they even fell. You may apologize for them, even when no one asked you to. But I do not see your tears as something to hide. I see them as something precious. Every tear you have cried carries a story. Some fell in moments of deep disappointment. Some slipped out when no one else was watching. Some came from frustration, from feeling misunderstood, from trying so hard and still falling short of your own expectations. And some tears came without words at all, just a heaviness in your chest that could not be expressed any other way. My beloved child, not one of those tears was wasted. You may think they disappeared into a pillow or dried silently on your cheek. But I have witnessed every single one. I have counted them. I have understood the emotion behind each drop. Your tears speak a language that I understand fully. Imagine a field during a dry season. The ground becomes hard, cracked, unyielding. But when rain falls, even if it seems gentle and small, it begins to soften the soil. It prepares the ground for new growth. In the same way, your tears soften your heart. They prevent you from becoming hardened by pain. They keep your spirit alive and responsive. Crying does not mean you are losing. It means you are feeling. It means you are processing. It means your heart is still tender. There were times when you cried because you felt alone. Times when you asked, "Why is this happening?" Times when you were so overwhelmed that tears were the only response your body could offer. In those moments, I was not distant. I was near. Sometimes I allow tears because they cleanse what words cannot reach. They release pressure built up inside you. They wash away emotions that would otherwise stay trapped. My beloved child, do not be ashamed of your tears. They reveal your depth. They reveal your capacity to love. They reveal your hope, even when hope feels fragile. There are also tears you cried that came from longing. Longing for change, longing for clarity, longing for healing, longing for someone to truly understand you. Those tears were prayers, even if you did not form them into sentences. I heard them, and I am responding, even now. One day, you will look back at the nights you cried and realize they were not signs of defeat. They were signs of transformation. They were moments when your heart was being reshaped, softened, strengthened. Think of a sculptor working with stone. Each strike of the tool removes something unnecessary. It may look harsh in the moment, but it reveals beauty underneath. Your tears have been part of that revealing process. They have carved compassion into you. They have deepened your understanding of others. They have grown empathy within your soul. My beloved child, there will also be different tears ahead. Tears of relief, tears of gratitude, tears of joy. The story is not finished. The chapters ahead hold moments that will cause your heart to overflow for reasons very different from today. But even now, in this present moment, your tears are not signs that you are falling apart. They are signs that you are alive, that you are processing, that you are becoming. Let them fall when they need to. Do not fight them. Do not judge yourself for them. I am with you in every tear-streaked night and every quiet release of emotion. And I promise you this, your tears have meaning. They are part of your healing. They are part of your growth. And they are deeply known by me. My beloved child, now that you have heard my heart, now that you have felt my nearness in your silent battles, your heavy day, your old wounds, and even in your tears, I want to invite you into something simple and sacred: rest. Not just physical rest, not just closing your eyes for a few hours. I'm speaking of a deeper rest, the kind that reaches your thoughts, the kind that quiets your racing mind, the kind that settles your spirit like calm water at sunrise. You have been carrying so much. You have been thinking so much, playing, replaying, anticipating, worrying, and even in moments when your body is still, your mind continues running. It searches for solution. It revisits conversations. It prepares for problems that may never arrive. But tonight, my beloved child, you do not need to solve anything. The night is not a place for striving. It is a place for surrender. The darkness outside your window is not a threat. It is a covering. It is an invitation to pause, to release, to trust that while you sleep, I remain awake on your behalf. Imagine a small child falling asleep in the arms of a loving father. The child does not worry about the doors being locked. The child does not calculate tomorrow's needs. The child simply rests, secure in the strength that holds them. That is how I want you to rest tonight. You are safe with me. Your unfinished tasks can wait. Your unanswered questions can remain unanswered for now. The world will continue turning without your constant effort. I am holding it together, including the parts of your life that feel uncertain. Let your breathing slow. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. With each exhale, release a little more tension. With each inhale, receive my peace. Peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of my assurance. It is knowing that even if storms exist beyond your control, you are anchored in something stronger. My beloved child, close your eyes tonight without fear. I am guarding your home. I am watching over your loved ones. I am preparing what tomorrow holds. You do not have to stay awake in anxiety. You do not have to brace yourself for what might happen. This is an act of trust. And tonight, I am giving you permission to trust. Let the noise quiet down. Let the inner critic fall silent. Let the what-if question soften into even if. I am held. You are not fragile. You are not alone. And you are not responsible for carrying the universe on your shoulders. Sleep knowing you are loved. Sleep knowing you are seen. Sleep knowing that nothing about your life is slipping through my hands. I am with you in this moment of stillness. Now, before you drift into that rest, hear this as well. As this message has reached your heart tonight, it has also reached the hearts of many others who are searching for comfort just like you were. When you choose to sow into this mission through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link placed in the description and shown in the QR code, you are not giving to a channel. You are helping me carry my voice into rooms filled with silent tears. I have said, give and it will be given to you, pressed down and overflowing, and this promise lives for you now. When you respond generously, you become a river that waters dry ground in other souls. If your heart had been stirred, this is your moment of obedience and faith. Do not let hesitation silence what I am prompting within you. Every seed you release becomes light in someone else's darkness. I bless the hands that give with peace, provision, and open doors. What you sow in faith tonight will return as harvest in due time. Step forward boldly and support this work now, and watch how I multiply your faithfulness. Now, my beloved child, lay your head down and rest in me. My beloved child, as you rest tonight, I want to speak to the part of you that is already thinking about tomorrow. Even now, your mind tries to move ahead. It wonders when news will come. It wonders how certain situations will unfold. It tries to predict conversations, outcomes, and reactions. But I want you to know something that will steady your heart. Tomorrow is already prepared. Before you ever step into it, I am there. You see tomorrow as a blank page filled with uncertainty. I see it as a page already written with purpose. Nothing that awaits you will surprise me. No conversation will catch me off guard. No obstacle will appear without my awareness. While you sleep, I am already arranging what you cannot yet see. Think of a loving parent preparing a child's path before they wake up. The breakfast is set. The schedule is considered. The doors are unlocked. The child rises unaware of the preparation that happened quietly before dawn. That is how I work in your life. There are provisions in place that you have not yet discovered. My beloved child, you are not walking into chaos. You are walking into a day I have already seen. You fear what might go wrong. You imagine worst-case scenarios. But what if you began to imagine my guidance instead? What if you trusted that when you arrive at each moment, I will give you what you need for it? You do not need strength for the entire week right now. You only need strength for the next step. And when you take that step, I will supply it. There have been many tomorrows in your past that you feared. Days you thought would overwhelm you. Situations you believed you could not handle. Yet here you were. You made it through. Not because you were perfect. Not because you had all the answers. But because I sustained you. The same will be true again. My beloved child, tomorrow holds opportunities you cannot yet imagine. It holds moments of grace hidden between ordinary tasks. It holds conversations that may shift direction. It holds lessons that will shape your growth. And yes, it may hold challenges, but challenges do not come without my presence beside you. Do not let anxiety steal the peace of this night by borrowing worries from a future you have not yet entered. Instead, picture yourself stepping into tomorrow with calm confidence. See yourself speaking with clarity. See yourself responding with patience. See yourself standing steady, even if circumstances shift around you. That steadiness will not come from your own effort alone. It will come from knowing I am guiding you. I go before you to prepare the way. I walk beside you to steady your steps. I stand behind you to protect what you leave in the past. There is no direction you can turn where I am not already present. When you wake up, you greet the day not with fear, but with trust. Say to yourself, I am not alone. My path is known. Even if surprises arise, they will not be stronger than my wisdom. My beloved child, you are not stepping into uncertainty by yourself. You are stepping into a day already held in my hands. So release tomorrow from your restless thoughts tonight. Let it remain in my care. When the morning light comes, you will have what you need. And step by step, you will see that what once felt uncertain was always under my watchful eye. Rest now, knowing that your future is not fragile. It is guided. My beloved child, there is something happening within you that you cannot fully see. Even in this very season, even in the quiet of this night, you are growing. Growth does not always feel dramatic. It is not always loud or visible. Sometimes growth feels like waiting. Sometimes it feels like confusion. Sometimes it even feels like discomfort. But do not mistake discomfort for stagnation. Do not mistake silence for absence of progress. You are growing even now. Think of a seed buried deep beneath the soil. From the outside, nothing appears to be happening. The ground looks still. There is no movement, no sign of life. But beneath the surface, roots are forming. The shell is breaking open. Life is pushing forward in darkness long before it ever breaks into the light. That is what is happening in you. There are lessons taking root inside your heart. Patience is forming where impatience once lived. Wisdom is developing where confusion once ruled. Compassion is deepening where you once judged yourself harshly. These changes may be subtle, but they are real. You may not feel stronger, yet you are stronger. You may not feel wiser, yet you are wiser. Every challenge you have faced has stretched you. Every prayer you have whispered has shaped you. Every moment you chose to keep going instead of giving up has expanded your capacity. My beloved child, growth often feels uncomfortable because it requires leaving behind what is familiar. You are not the same person you were a year ago. You have learned through loss. You have matured through disappointment. You have gained insight through struggle. Even your tears have nourished your growth. Sometimes you compare yourself to others and think you are behind. You see their progress, their achievements, their milestones, and you question your own pace. But remember this: every seed has its own timing. Some sprout quickly. Others take longer. The speed does not determine the value. Your journey is unique. Your growth is intentional. There are qualities within you that I am cultivating carefully. Resilience, humility, courage, faith. These are not formed overnight. They are developed through seasons that require trust. And though you may wish for instant transformation, slow growth builds lasting strength. Imagine a tree that grows too quickly without deep roots. When the storm comes, it cannot stand. But a tree that grows steadily, extending its roots deep into the earth, becomes stable and unshakable. I am strengthening your roots. Even the moments when you feel stuck are not wasted. Waiting stretches your trust. Uncertainty sharpens your discernment. Silence invites you to listen more closely. These are all part of your becoming. My beloved child, do not despise the small steps. Do not overlook the subtle changes. The fact that you are reflecting, seeking, listening, this is growth. The fact that you are still here, still open, still willing to trust, that is growth. You are becoming more grounded, more aware, more aligned with who you were created to be. And though you cannot yet see the full picture, I see it clearly. One day, you will look back and realize that this quiet season was foundational. It was shaping you for something greater than you could imagine. It was preparing you for responsibilities, opportunities, and blessings that require maturity. So be patient with yourself. Be gentle with your progress. Growth is happening even when it feels invisible. My beloved child, trust the unseen work. You are growing even now. My beloved child, there have been doors in your life that did not open no matter how hard you knocked. Opportunities you hoped for that slipped away. Relationships you tried to preserve that still ended. Plans you carefully arranged that somehow unraveled. And in those moments, you felt confusion. You wondered why your effort was not enough. But what you saw as rejection was often protection. There are doors you desperately wanted that would not have led you to peace. There are paths you longed to walk that would have drained your spirit. I closed some doors not to punish you, but to guard you. I redirected you not to frustrate you, but to preserve you. It is difficult to trust a closed door when you cannot see what lies behind it. But I can see both sides. I see what you were asking for, and I see what it would have required from you. I see the hidden costs. I see the unseen consequences. And because I love you, I do not allow everything you desire. My beloved child, Do not measure my faithfulness by how many doors open immediately. Sometimes my greatest act of love is a door that remains shut. Yet hear me clearly tonight. I am opening new doors. You may not see them yet. They may not look like what you originally imagined, but they are forming. Opportunities aligned with your growth. Connections aligned with your healing. Pathways aligned with the person you are becoming. Imagine standing in a long hallway lined with doors. Some are locked. Some are slightly open. Some you walk past without noticing. At the end of that hallway is a door prepared specifically for you. It fits your calling. It matches your capacity. It aligns with your purpose. You cannot force it open before its time, but when the moment is right, it will open smoothly. That is the kind of door I prepare. I do not rush you into spaces you are not ready for. I do not expose you to responsibilities that would overwhelm you prematurely. I shape you first. I strengthen you first. I refine you first. And I open the door. You have been wondering if your chance has passed. You have questioned whether you missed your opportunity. My beloved child, what is meant for you cannot be stolen. What I have assigned to your life cannot be given permanently to another. There are conversations that will align unexpectedly. There are invitations that will surprise you. There are answers that will arrive when you least expect them. The delay you experienced was not denial. It was preparation. Sometimes I allow waiting so that when the door opens, you step through it with wisdom instead of desperation. Waiting purifies your motives. It clarifies your desires. It builds patience within you. When the right door opens, you will feel peace rather than panic. You will sense alignment rather than anxiety. You will not have to manipulate your way in. It will unfold naturally, steadily, confidently. My beloved child, do not lose heart because of what has not happened yet. Trust that I am orchestrating connections behind the scenes. Trust that I am arranging circumstances in ways you cannot see. Trust that I am timing things with precision beyond your understanding. Your story is not stalled. It is unfolding. Keep preparing your heart. Keep strengthening your character. Keep trusting me in the waiting. When the door opens, you will recognize it. And when you walk through it, you will realize that every closed door along the way was leading you exactly where you needed to be. My beloved child, there is something heavy that you have been carrying quietly, and it is not just fear or uncertainty. It is guilt. You replay certain moments in your mind. Words you wish you had not spoken. Decisions you wish you had handled differently. Opportunities you regret missing. You think about how things might have turned out if you had chosen another path. And sometimes, that weight presses against your heart more than you admit. Guilt has a way of whispering that you are defined by your worst moments. It tells you that you should have known better, that you ruined something beyond repair, that you are disqualified from moving forward because of what is behind you. But my beloved child, listen carefully. You are not your mistakes. Yes, you have made choices you would change if you could. Yes, you have moments that make you wince when you remember them. But those moments do not have authority over your identity. They are chapters in your story, not the title of your life. Imagine carrying a heavy chain attached to your ankle. You try to walk forward, but each step drags painfully because you refuse to unlock it. The key has been offered, yet you hesitate, thinking you deserve the weight. That is what guilt does when you cling to it long after forgiveness has been given. I do not hold your past over you the way you hold it over yourself. When you come to me with regret, I do not respond with condemnation. I respond with mercy. I see your heart. I see your growth. I see how you have learned from those moments. The very fact that you feel remorse shows that your heart is alive and sensitive. But remorse is meant to lead to change, not endless punishment. My beloved child, there is a difference between conviction and condemnation. Conviction gently corrects and restores. Condemnation shames and imprisons. I correct you when needed, but I do not imprison you in your past. You have apologized. You have reflected. You have grown. Yet you continue to replay the same memories as if punishing yourself will somehow rewrite them. It will not. It will only drain your joy and steal your peace. Think of a sculptor who makes an early mistake in a block of stone. He does not discard the entire piece. He adjusts. He reshades. He integrates that flaw into the final design. The end result often carries more depth and character because of it. I am shaping your life in the same way. The areas where you failed have taught you humility. The moments you regret have increased your compassion for others. The lessons you learned through pain have given you wisdom you would not have gained otherwise. So why continue carrying what I have already released? My beloved child, forgive yourself. Not because the mistake was small, not because it did not matter, but because you are more than the sum of your failures. Release the belief that you must suffer endlessly to prove you are sorry. Release the voice that tells you you are unworthy. Release the shame that keeps you shrinking back. Lift your head. You are still chosen. You are still loved. You are still capable of growth and goodness. The past cannot be changed, but it can be redeemed. And I am redeeming yours. Let the chain fall. Step forward without dragging yesterday behind you. My beloved child, you are free to move forward. My beloved child, there is something you rarely allow yourself to believe. You may accept that I tolerate you. You may accept that I forgive you. You may even accept that I guide you. But deep down, you struggle to believe that I truly delight in you. You imagine me watching with scrutiny, measuring your performance, noting your flaws. You assume my love is patient but reserved, steady but distant. Yet I want you to understand something tender and powerful tonight. I do not merely endure you. I delight in you. When you laugh freely, I delight in you. When you try again after failure, I delight in you. When you care for someone quietly without recognition, I delight in you. Even when you stumble and rise again, I delight in your persistence. My love for you is not cold approval. It is warm affection. Think of a parent watching their child take their first unsteady steps. The steps are imperfect. The child wobbles and sometimes falls. But the parent does not criticize the clumsiness. The parent beams with joy simply because the child is trying. That joy is not based on perfection. It is based on relationship. That is how I look at you. You are not loved because you have everything figured out. You are loved because you are mine. You are not cherished because you never struggle. You are cherished because your heart seeks growth. There are parts of your personality you have tried to hide, thinking they are too strange, too emotional, too different. But I formed those parts intentionally. Your sensitivity, your creativity, your quiet thoughtfulness, even your deep questions. I delight in all of it. You sometimes compare yourself to others and feel less impressive. You measure your worth against achievements, recognition, or outward success. But I do not evaluate you by those standards. I see your heart. I see your intentions. I see the kindness you show when no one else notices. My beloved child, when you sit quietly and simply exist, I am pleased. There is no requirement in this moment. No performance needed. no checklist to complete before I smile upon you. My delight in you is not something you earn. It is something you receive. Imagine standing in a garden filled with unique flowers. None of them compete to be identical. Each blooms according to its design. Each has its own color, its own fragrance, its own timing. The gardener delights in each one differently. In the same way, I delight in you as you are. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not a disappointment waiting to be corrected. You are a beloved child who carries my imprint. Even your growth process brings me joy. Every small step toward healing, every effort to trust, every to see and to forgive, every moment you choose hope over despair, these are beautiful to me. My beloved child, let this truth settle into your heart. You do not have to fight for my affection. You already have it. You do not have to impress me. You already matter deeply. When you wake tomorrow, do not carry the burden of trying to prove yourself worthy. Walk knowing you are already cherished. Let that confidence steady your steps. Let that assurance quiet your insecurity. I delight in your existence. I delight in your becoming. I delight in your heart. And nothing about you surprises me or pushes me away. You are my beloved child, and I am pleased with you. My beloved child, there is a strength inside you that you have not fully recognized. You often look outward for power. You look at other people's confidence, their boldness, their visible achievements, and you assume they carry something you do not. But what you fail to see is what I have already placed within you. You are not empty. You are not lacking. You are not weak at your core. There is power within you, and it did not come from the world. It came from me. When I formed you, I did not leave you fragile and defenseless. I wove resilience into your spirit. I planted courage deep within your heart. I gave you the ability to endure, to adapt, to rise again. Even in moments when you felt small, something inside you refused to give up. That something is not accidental. It is strength planted by my design. Think about the times you believed you could not continue, yet you did. The days you thought would break you, yet you survived them. The heartbreaks that felt unbearable, yet you are still here. The fear that once overwhelmed you, yet you faced it step by step. That was not luck. That was power rising within you. My beloved child, you underestimate yourself because you focus on your doubts more than your endurance. You remember the moments you hesitated, but you forget the moments you acted bravely despite the hesitation. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward while fear whispers in the background. You have done that more times than you realize. Imagine a lantern in a dark room. It may not illuminate the entire building, but it pushes back the darkness in its space. You are that lantern. In your family, in your workplace, in your friendships. Your presence carries influence. Your words carry weight. Your kindness carries impact. You may feel ordinary, but you are not powerless. The power within you is not loud or boastful. It is steady. It is grounded. It is the quiet confidence that grows when you choose integrity over shortcuts. It is the firmness in your voice when you stand up for what is right. It is the compassion that softens your heart instead of hardening it. There are gifts within you that you have not fully explored. Abilities waiting for expression. Dreams waiting for courage. Talents waiting for trust. Fear has sometimes convinced you to stay small, to shrink back, to doubt your capacity. But I did not create you to live in constant retreat. You were created to shine in your own way. My beloved child, when you align your heart with me, you tap into a strength greater than your own. It is not about ego. It is not about proving yourself. It is about recognizing that you are connected to a source of wisdom and courage that does not run dry. You do not have to imitate anyone else's path. The power within you is tailored to your journey. The challenges you face are not random. They are opportunities to reveal what is already inside you. Stop speaking over yourself with words of limitation. Stop labeling yourself as incapable. Stop assuming you will fail before you even try. You are more capable than you think, more resilient than you believe, more influential than you realize. My beloved child, lift your head. Stand a little taller, not in pride but in awareness. You carry strength within you that has already been proven by your survival, your growth, and your continued willingness to hope. The power within you is real, and it is ready to rise even higher as you trust me. My beloved child, there are days when the strength I spoke of feels distant. Days when your confidence fades and your energy runs low. Days when getting out of bed feels like a victory. In those moments, you question everything I have just told you. You wonder how power can live within you when you feel so fragile. But listen closely, weakness does not cancel strength. It reveals where you need support. You live in a world that praises independence and constant productivity. It tells you that to be valuable, you must always appear composed, capable, and in control. So when you feel weak, you think you are failing. You think you are falling behind. You think you are disappointing me. You are not. When you feel weaker, you are human. And being human is not a flaw in my design. Imagine a traveler climbing a mountain. There are stretches of the journey where the climb feels manageable. The legs are strong. The air is steady. But there are also steep inclines where every step burns. The traveler may pause, lean against a rock, and catch their breath. A pause does not mean the journey is over. It simply means rest is needed. Your weakness is often a sign that you have been climbing faithfully. My beloved child, I do not demand that you be strong every second. I do not measure your worth by how rarely you struggle. In fact, some of the deepest intimacy between us happens when you admit you cannot do it alone. When you whisper, "I'm tired," I lean closer. When you confess, "I don't know what to do," I guide gently. When you say, "I can't carry this," I step in. Weakness is not something you need to hide from me. It is an invitation. Think of a cracked jar placed under a flowing stream. The jar may feel inadequate because it has imperfections, but the water still fills it. In the same way, my strength flows into the places where you feel cracked. Your vulnerability becomes the space where my power rests most clearly. You have experienced this before. Times when you were sure you would break, yet somehow you were sustained. Words came to you when you needed them. Courage appeared in moments you thought you would collapse. That was not because you suddenly became strong on your own. It was because you allowed yourself to lean on me. My beloved child, stop shaming yourself for needing help. Stop criticizing yourself for feeling overwhelmed. The very fact that you recognize your limits shows wisdom. You were not created to be self-sufficient in everything. You were created for relationship with me and with others. When you feel weak, do not isolate yourself in pride. Reach toward me. Speak honestly. Say, "I need you." That simple prayer moves heaven more than 1,000 rehearsed speeches. Your weakness today does not define your tomorrow. It does not erase your growth. It does not cancel your calling. It is simply part of your humanity. And I am not disappointed by your humanity. My beloved child, Even when your knees feel shaky and your voice feels uncertain, you are still held. Even when you doubt yourself, I do not doubt you. Even when you cannot see the way forward, I remain steady beside you. When you feel weak, remember this: you do not stand alone. My strength meets you there. My beloved child, there are moments when your life feels scattered, as if the pages of your story have been shuffled out of order. You look at certain chapters and wonder why they were included at all. You question the plot twists. You question the timing. You question the direction. But I want you to understand something deeply comforting tonight. I am writing your story. You may hold the pen for daily decisions, but I hold the greater narrative. I see the beginning, the middle, and the ending all at once. What feels random to you is part of a design you cannot yet fully see. Sometimes you judge your life too early, as if the chapter you are in is the final one. You look at a painful moment and assume it defines the whole book. But no one reads a story by stopping in the middle and deciding its meaning. The beauty often unfolds gradually. My beloved child, the unfinished parts are not failures. They are simply incomplete. Think of an author crafting a novel. There are scenes of joy and scenes of struggle. There are misunderstandings before reconciliation. There are setbacks before breakthroughs. If you only read one difficult chapter, you might think the story is tragic. But if you continue reading, you begin to see the growth, the redemption, the resolution. That is how I am working in your life. The heartbreak you endured did not end your story. It deepened it. The delay you experienced did not ruin your path. It redirected it. The mistakes you regret did not erase your future. They shaped your character. You are not stuck in a meaningless sequence of events. You are in the middle of a carefully unfolding narrative. There are chapters ahead that will make sense of what confuses you now. There are connections you will see later that are invisible at this moment. The struggles that feel heavy today will one day be testimonies of resilience and grace. My beloved child, I do not waste scenes. I do not write without intention. Even the quiet seasons have purpose. Even the waiting chapters are developing something essential within you. Sometimes you try to rush the story. You want to skip ahead to clarity, to resolution, to peace. But growth requires time. Transformation requires process. If I revealed every detail at once, you would not grow through trust. You would only react to information. Instead, I invite you to trust the author. You may not understand why certain characters entered your life or why others exited. You may not know why certain doors closed while others remain unopened. But I see how each element contributes to your becoming. There are strengths within you that could only be formed through certain trials. There is wisdom within you that could only be gained through certain losses. There is compassion within you that could only be born through certain tears. My beloved child, you are not writing a story of defeat. You are living a story of becoming. Even now, as you listen to these words, a new page is turning. A deeper awareness is forming. A steadier trust is growing. This is part of the narrative too. Do not give up in the middle of your book. Do not assume the hardest chapter defines the ending. I am writing something beautiful, even when it feels unfinished. Trust me with the pen of your future. Keep walking forward, one page at a time. Your story is still unfolding, and I am faithful to complete it. My beloved child, there is a weight that lingers quietly in your heart, and it is not only guilt. It is hurt that has turned into resentment. It is disappointment that hardened into bitterness. Someone said something. Someone did something. Someone failed you when you needed them most. And though time has passed, the memory still carries emotion. I want to speak gently to you about forgiveness, not as a command meant to pressure you, not as a demand that ignores your pain, but as an invitation into freedom. When someone wounds you, it leaves a mark. It shapes how you see yourself and how you see others. You may have told yourself that holding on to anger keeps you safe, that remembering every detail protects you from being hurt again. But over time, that anger begins to live inside you more than it affects the other person. Bitterness is like drinking water you know is poison, hoping it harms someone else. It only drains your own peace. My beloved child, I know what they did. I know what was said. I know how deeply it affected you. Forgiveness does not mean pretending it did not matter. It does not mean trusting recklessly. It does not mean inviting harm again. It means releasing the burden of carrying that pain as your identity. Imagine holding a heavy stone in your hands every day. At first, it reminds you of what happened. It feels justified. But after a while, your arms ache. Your posture changes. Your strength diminishes. Forgiveness is not saying the stone was light. It is choosing to set it down. You do not set it down because they deserve it. You set it down because you deserve peace. My beloved child, unforgiveness ties you to the moment of your hurt. It keeps you reliving what should no longer control you. But forgiveness loosens that tie. It allows you to move forward without dragging the past behind you. This does not always happen instantly. Sometimes forgiveness is a process, a decision you make again and again until your heart feels lighter. And I will walk with you through that process. You do not have to do it in your own strength. There is also something you may not realize. Forgiveness does not excuse wrongdoing. Justice and healing can still exist. Boundaries can still be set. Distance can still be maintained. Forgiveness is about your heart, not about rewriting history. When you forgive, you reclaim your freedom. You stop allowing someone else's actions to dictate your inner world. You stop giving them power over your peace. You release the need to replay the scene over and over. My beloved child, you were not created to live in a prison of resentment. Your heart was designed for lightness, for love, for growth. Carrying bitterness dims that light. Picture yourself walking forward without that weight. Your shoulders relaxed. Your breathing steady. Your thoughts no longer consumed by old conversations. That freedom is possible. I know forgiveness feels risky. It feels like letting your guard down. But trust me, releasing anger does not weaken you. It strengthens you. It shows that your heart is not controlled by what happened to you. You are more than the hurt you experienced. Let me help you lay it down. Speak their name if you must. Acknowledge the pain. Then choose to release it into my hands. I can handle it. I can bring justice where needed. I can heal what was broken. My beloved child, forgive and be free. Your future does not need to carry yesterday's wounds. My beloved child, there is a truth about you that you often overlook. In moments of comparison, in seasons of rejection, in times when doors seem to close, you quietly asked yourself, why not me? Why wasn't I selected? Why did I feel left out? Those questions left small marks on your confidence. They made you doubt your place. They made you wonder if you were somehow less desirable, less capable, less worthy. But I want you to hear me clearly tonight. You were chosen, not by accident, not as an afterthought, not as a second option. You were chosen intentionally. Before anyone else formed an opinion about you, I knew you. Before anyone decided whether you were enough, I had already called you mine. Your value was not voted on. It was declared. You sometimes measure being chosen by visible signs, being selected for opportunities, being noticed in a crowd, being affirmed publicly. But being chosen by me is deeper than public recognition. It is rooted in purpose. Imagine a master craftsman selecting a specific piece of wood from a forest. Others may see only an ordinary tree, but the craftsman sees potential. He sees how its grain will form a beautiful design. He sees how its strength will support something meaningful. In the same way, I see in you what others may not recognize. Your personality, your experiences, your unique blend of strengths and struggles, all of it matters. All of it has purpose. My beloved child, when certain people walked away from you, it did not mean you were not chosen. It meant they were not assigned to walk your entire journey. When certain opportunities passed you by, it did not mean you were overlooked. It meant they were not aligned with your calling. What is chosen for you cannot miss you. You were chosen to grow through this season. You were chosen to carry compassion because of what you endured. You were chosen to speak words of encouragement because you know what discouragement feels like. Your life is not random movement. It is intentional design. There is a calling resting on you, even if it feels quiet right now. It may not look dramatic or grand in the world's eyes. It may unfold in small acts of kindness, in steady faithfulness, in quiet integrity. But do not mistake quiet impact for small impact. Some of the most powerful changes in the world begin in hidden places. My beloved child, stop seeing yourself as an afterthought. Stop believing you were included by chance. You are here at this exact time, in this exact place, with this exact heart, because I desired it so. There are people whose lives will be shaped by your presence. There are moments that will shift because you showed up. There are words you will speak that will steady someone else's spirit. You were not placed here accidentally. Even the struggles you faced were part of preparing you. The delays refined your patience. The disappointments strengthened your resilience. The solitude deepened your awareness. All of it contributed to who you are becoming. When doubt whispers that you are replaceable, answer it with truth. There is no duplicate of you, and no one else carries your exact combination of perspective, emotion, and calling. My beloved child, you were chosen before you ever performed, before you ever achieved, before you ever proved yourself. Walk in that awareness. Let it lift your shoulders. Let it steady your steps. You are not here by chance. You are here by design. My beloved child, I know the storm has felt long. Not a sudden, dramatic burst of wind, but a steady, exhausting weather pattern that seems to linger. The kind of storm that drains your energy slowly. The kind that makes you wonder when clear skies will return. You have asked yourself, how much longer? You have looked at the clouds and thought they would never break. But I want you to lift your eyes tonight and hear this truth. The storm is losing power. It may not feel like it yet. The wind may still be blowing. The rain may still be falling. But what once had full force is beginning to weaken. What once felt overwhelming is slowly shifting. Storms do not last forever. Think of a violent thunderstorm rolling across the land. At first, it is loud. The lightning flashes. The thunder shakes the ground. The rain pours down relentlessly. But as time passes, the thunder grows softer. The lightning becomes less frequent. The rain slows to a drizzle. Eventually, only damp ground remains as evidence that the storm ever passed through. That is what is happening in your life. The anxiety that once consumed your thoughts is not as constant as it used to be. The heartbreak that once stole your breath does not sting quite as sharply. The fear that once paralyzed you does not control you in the same way. You may not notice these small changes, but they are signs that the storm is weakening. My beloved child, storms reveal strength you did not know you had. They test your foundation. They shake loose what was unstable. They expose what needs reinforcing. And though you did not choose this weather, you are emerging stronger because of it. You are not the same person who first stepped into this storm. You have learned. You had endured. You have grown roots that run deeper than before. Sometimes you focus so much on the remaining wind that you forget how far you have already come. You forget that there were days when you thought you would not survive this season. Yet here you are. Still standing, still breathing, still hoping. That is not weakness. That is resilience. My beloved child, the clouds are thinning even if you cannot yet see the full sky. There are rays of light beginning to break through. Small moments of peace. Unexpected encouragement. Subtle reassurance. These are signs that change is already underway. Do not let impatience blind you to progress. The end of a storm often begins quietly. Even now, I am calming what once raged around you. I am strengthening what was shaken. I am restoring what was bent by the wind. The ground may still be wet, but the sun is rising. You will not live under these clouds forever. The season that felt endless has limits. It has boundaries. It does not have authority over your future. And when the sky clears fully, you will look back and see that what felt destructive was also refining. You will see that you did not break. You were shaped. My beloved child, hold steady a little longer. The storm is losing its grip. The pressure is easing. The winds are slowing. Clear skies are not a distant dream. They are approaching. And I am with you until the very last cloud passes. My beloved child, when night falls and your thoughts grow louder, one of the deepest fears that tries to surface is the fear of vulnerability. The fear that something unexpected could happen. The fear that you are not as secure as you wish to be. In quiet moments, your mind sometimes imagines dangers that have not occurred, and your heart tightens without clear reason. But I want to speak peace over you now. My protection surrounds you. You may not see it with your eyes, but it is real. You may not always feel it, but it does not waver. My care for you is not passive. It is active. It is intentional. It is constant. Imagine a strong shelter standing firm in the middle of a storm. Winds push against it. Rain beats down upon it. Yet inside there is calm. Inside there is warmth and safety. That shelter is not fragile. It was built to withstand pressure. In the same way, my presence around you is not thin or uncertain. It is strong. It is secure. There have been dangers you never saw because I shielded you. There were paths you almost walked that would have led to harm, yet something redirected you. There were conversations that could have escalated, but peace intervened. You may call it coincidence. I call it protection. My beloved child, you are not walking through life unguarded. When you leave your home each day, I go with you. When you return, I remain. When you sleep, I watch. When you wake, I guide. There is no hour when I abandon my watch over you. You sometimes believe protection means a life without difficulty. But protection does not mean you will never face challenges. It means those challenges will not have authority to destroy you. It means that even in hardship, you are covered. Think of a child learning to ride a bicycle. The parent walks beside them, hand ready to steady them if they wobble. The child may not always notice the watchful eyes or the quick hand, but it is there. That is how I am with you. My beloved child, your loved ones are also under my care. The ones you worry about late at night. The ones you pray for quietly. I hear those prayers. I see their journeys. And I am present with them as well. You cannot control every outcome. You cannot foresee every possibility. But you can trust that I am aware of them all. Let your mind release its constant scanning for threats. Let your heart rest from trying to predict every potential danger. You are not alone in safeguarding your life. My protection is not fragile. It does not flicker. It does not fade when you doubt. It stands firm even when you feel uncertain. There will be moments when you look back and realize how many times you were carried through unseen risks. How many times timing worked in your favor. How many times help arrived just when needed. Those were not accidents. My beloved child, breathe deeply and let this truth settle in you. You are surrounded. Not by fear. Not by chaos. But by care. You can sleep without constant alertness. You can move forward without constant suspicion. You can trust that I am guarding what matters most. My protection surrounds you tonight and always. My beloved child, one of the hardest things for you to do is trust a process you cannot fully see. You prefer clarity. You prefer timelines. You prefer visible signs that progress is happening. When those signs are missing, impatience begins to whisper that something is wrong. But nothing is wrong. You are in a process, and the process is purposeful. There are seasons in life when growth feels obvious. Doors open. Opportunities appear. Answers come quickly. But there are other seasons when progress feels hidden. You pray, and the answer seems delayed. You work, and the results seem small. You wait, and the silence stretches longer than you hoped. In those moments, doubt tries to convince you that you are stuck. Yet being in process is not the same as being stuck. Imagine a sculptor shaping stone. From a distance, it may look as if nothing is changing. But with each strike of the tool, tiny fragments fall away. The transformation happens gradually. If you walked away too soon, you would miss the beauty forming within the stone. That is how I'm shaping your life. There are pieces being refined in you that you cannot see yet. Patience is being strengthened. Character is being deepened. Wisdom is being carved into your perspective. These changes do not happen overnight. They require time, repetition, and trust. My beloved child, you often want the finished version of yourself immediately. You want clarity without confusion, strength without struggle, confidence without testing. But depth is built through process. Consider a seed planted in soil. It does not break through the surface the same day it is buried. It remains hidden, in darkness, in stillness. Yet beneath that soil, something powerful is unfolding. Roots are forming. Structure is developing. The unseen work is preparing the seed to withstand the wind once it rises. If the seed rushed the process, it would not survive. You are being prepared for what is ahead. There are responsibilities you will carry that require maturity. There are blessings that require stability. There are opportunities that demand discernment. The process you are in now is equipping you. Trust that the delays are not denials. Trust that the quiet is not abandonment. Trust that the stretching is not punishment. It is preparation. My beloved child, impatience can steal the peace of becoming. When you compare your timeline to someone else's, you lose sight of your unique journey. What looks like slow progress may actually be careful construction. I am not in a hurry with you because I am building something lasting. There is wisdom in waiting. There is strength in enduring. There is beauty in gradual growth. When you look back one day, you will see how every step, especially the difficult ones, formed a foundation that could not have been built any other way. So breathe. Release the pressure to have everything figured out. Release the need to rush into the next season. Focus on faithfulness in this one. My beloved child, trust the process because you trust me. I am not careless with your life. I am intentional. I am steady. I am faithful to complete what I began in you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are becoming. And the process is working even now. My beloved child, after everything you have been through, it would have been easy for your heart to harden. It would have been understandable if you decided to stop caring so deeply. If you built walls so high that nothing and no one could reach you again. If you chose indifference instead of vulnerability. But your heart is still tender. And that tenderness is not weakness. It is strength of the purest kind. You sometimes criticize yourself for feeling too much. You wonder why certain words affect you so deeply. Why certain situations stir compassion within you. Why you cannot simply detach the way others seem to. You think that perhaps you would suffer less if you cared less. But if you cared less, you would not be fully yourself. Your tenderness is evidence that pain did not turn you cold. Disappointment did not strip you of empathy. Betrayal did not rob you of your capacity to love. That is remarkable. Imagine a field after a harsh winter. Snow covered it. Ice hardened the ground. Yet when spring arrives, small green shoots still push through the soil. Life returns. Softness reappears. The field did not lose its ability to grow. It only needed time. In the same way, your heart has endured winters, seasons that felt cold and isolating. Yet here you are, still capable of kindness, still willing to hope, still open to connection. My beloved child, do not despise your sensitivity. It allows you to notice when others are hurting. It enables you to speak gently when someone feels fragile. It gives you insight into emotions that others may overlook. The world sometimes tells you to toughen up, to guard yourself constantly, to trust no one. But I did not design your heart to be made of stone. I designed it to be alive. There is wisdom in discernment, yes. There is safety in healthy boundaries. But there is also beauty in a heart that remains soft despite hardship. Your tenderness allows you to forgive. It allows you to encourage. It allows you to reflect and grow. The hardened heart may feel protected, but it also becomes closed to joy. You were not meant to live closed. My beloved child, protect your heart wisely, but do not imprison it. Do not silence your compassion. Do not suppress your care. These qualities are part of your calling. There will be moments when your tenderness feels risky, when loving feels vulnerable, when opening up feels uncertain. In those moments, remember that I am with you. I am your ultimate guard. You do not have to harden yourself to survive. Your heart can remain soft because you are held by strength greater than your own. One day, someone will experience healing because of your gentleness. Someone will feel seen because of your empathy. Someone will find courage because you chose not to become bitter. My beloved child, your heart is still tender, and that is a gift. Do not trade it for temporary protection. Trust that I am shaping you into someone both compassionate and wise. Soft does not mean fragile. Tender does not mean weak. Your heart is alive, and that is something beautiful. Hold on to that softness. It reflects my own heart within you. My beloved child, there are things you have lost that you rarely speak about. Some losses were obvious. Relationships that ended, opportunities that slipped away, dreams that did not unfold the way you imagined. Other losses were quieter. The version of yourself you used to be, the innocence you once carried, the confidence that felt stronger in earlier days. Loss leaves an imprint. It changes the landscape of your heart. It creates empty spaces where something once lived. You have wondered if those spaces will always feel hollow. But I want you to hear me clearly tonight. I am restoring what was lost. Restoration does not always mean returning things exactly as they were. Sometimes what I restore is deeper, stronger, and more aligned than the original. Sometimes I replace what was taken with something that fits you better in the season you are now entering. Imagine an old building damaged by years of storms. The walls are cracked. The roof has holes. From the outside, it may look beyond repair, but a skilled restorer does not see ruin. He sees potential. He carefully rebuilds the foundation, reinforces the structure, and renews what was weakened. The final result often carries more strength than the original. That is what I am doing in your life. The relationship that broke your heart did not end your capacity to love. The opportunity you missed did not cancel your purpose. The dream that faded did not erase your potential. You are not defined by what you lost. My beloved child, sometimes I allow certain things to fall away because they were not meant to stay forever. Your purpose was seasonal. They taught you lessons. They shaped you. They prepared you. But they were not your final destination. The pain of loss can make you afraid to hope again. It can make you hesitant to trust new possibilities. You may guard yourself, thinking, I cannot endure another disappointment. But do not let past loss rob you of future joy. I am not finished with your story. There are connections ahead that will feel healthier. There are opportunities forming that align more closely with your growth. There is confidence rising within you that will not depend on circumstances as heavily as before. Restoration begins in your heart first. It begins when you release the belief that your best days are behind you. It begins when you allow yourself to imagine goodness again without fear. My beloved child, I specialize in renewal. I breathe life into what seems dry. I bring beauty from ashes. I take what felt wasted and weave it into something meaningful. You may not see full restoration yet, but the process has already begun. Healing is underway. Perspective is shifting. Strength is returning. Do not measure restoration only by outward change. Sometimes the greatest restoration is internal. A steadier spirit, a wiser heart, a deeper trust. What was taken from you does not have the final word. I am able to give you joy in places that once held sorrow. I am able to open doors where you thought none remained. I am able to bring unexpected blessings that surpass what you once imagined. My beloved child, trust that loss is not the end of your story. It is a chapter that leads to renewal. I am restoring what was lost, and what I rebuild will stand stronger than before. My beloved child, in a world filled with constant noise, one of the most difficult things for you to do is be still. Your days are filled with notifications, conversations, responsibilities, and endless streams of information. Even when your body rests, your mind often continues moving. But I want to invite you into something sacred. Listen for my whisper. I do not compete with the noise. I do not force my voice above every distraction. I speak gently, steadily, intimately. My voice is not harsh or frantic. It is calm and carries peace even when it corrects. It carries clarity even when it challenges. You sometimes expect guidance to come as a dramatic sign, something unmistakable and overwhelming. But more often, I guide through quiet impressions, a gentle nudge in your spirit, a subtle check in your heart, a sense of peace when you move in one direction and unrest when you move in another. That is my whisper. Imagine standing at the edge of a still lake early in the morning. The surface is calm, reflecting the sky above. In that stillness, even the smallest ripple becomes visible. But if the water is constantly disturbed, it becomes difficult to see clearly. Your heart is like that lake. When it is constantly stirred by noise and anxiety, my guidance can feel unclear. Stillness allows clarity. My beloved child, create space to hear me, not out of obligation, but out of desire for closeness. Sit quietly for a few moments. Breathe slowly. Lay aside the urgent thoughts that demand immediate answers. In that quiet, I will meet you. I may remind you of truth when fear tries to rise. I may gently redirect your steps when you are about to move too quickly. I may bring to mind a person who needs your encouragement. I may stir within you a new idea, a fresh perspective, a creative solution. My whisper is personal. It speaks to your specific situation. It understands your unique temperament. It honors your pace of growth. I do not rush you into decisions without peace. I do not pressure you into paths without preparation. There will be times when my whisper challenges you to trust. It may lead you to forgive when resentment feels easier. It may encourage you to step forward when fear says stay back. It may ask you to release something you are holding too tightly. But my whisper always leads toward life. My beloved child, do not underestimate the power of quiet obedience. Small responses to my guidance create lasting transformation. When you listen and follow even in little things, you build sensitivity to my voice. And if you ever feel unsure whether it is me speaking, return to the qualities of my heart. My voice aligns with love. It aligns with truth. It aligns with peace. It does not shame you. It does not condemn you. It gently invites you forward. You do not need to strive to hear me. You simply need to slow down enough to notice that I am already speaking. Even now, in this moment, there is a quiet reassurance settling within you. That is not coincidence. That is my presence. My beloved child, listen for my whisper. In the stillness, you will find guidance. In the quiet, you will find comfort. And in my gentle voice, you will find direction for every step ahead. My beloved child, beneath all the questions, beneath the fears about the future, beneath the memories of the past, there is a deep desire within you to feel safe. Not just physically safe, but emotionally and spiritually secure. To know that you can rest without bracing yourself. To know that you can breathe without preparing for impact. I want you to hear this with absolute clarity. You are safe with me. Safety is not the absence of all difficulty. It is the presence of unwavering love. It is knowing that no matter what happens around you, you are held within something stronger. You may walk through uncertain seasons, but you do not walk through them unprotected. There were times in your life when you did not feel safe. Times when trust was broken. Times when words wounded you. Times when circumstances shifted suddenly and left you feeling exposed. Those experiences shaped how you guard yourself now. You learn to anticipate disappointment. You learn to prepare for loss. You learn to stay alert. But with me, you do not have to live in constant defense. Imagine a child who has been frightened by loud storms. When thunder rolls, the child runs into the arms of a loving father. In those arms, The storm may still be raging outside, but the child's heart grows calm. The security does not come from controlling the weather. It comes from being held. That is what I offer you. My beloved child, you can bring your full self to me. Your fears, your doubts, your anger, your confusion. I will not reject you. I will not shame you. I will not withdraw my presence because you are honest. You are safe to speak openly with me. Safe to ask hard questions. Safe to admit weakness. Safe to express emotion. I am not intimidated by your vulnerability. Sometimes you hesitate to open your heart fully because you fear being misunderstood or dismissed. But I know you completely. There is nothing hidden from me. And yet, I remain close. Safety also means this. Your worth is not fragile in my hands. It does not fluctuate with your performance. It does not collapse when you make mistakes. It does not depend on others' opinions. You are secure in my love. When anxiety rises, remind yourself of this truth. When old memories try to tell you that you must protect yourself at all costs, remember that I am your ultimate refuge. You can set healthy boundaries in the world, but your deepest security rests in me. My beloved child, there will be moments when life feels unpredictable. But unpredictability does not equal abandonment. Even when you cannot see the outcome, you can trust the one who holds it. You do not need to constantly brace for disaster. You do not need to live as though something terrible is always about to happen. You are not walking alone through a hostile world. You are walking with a Father who watches, guides, and protects. Let your shoulders relax. Let your heart soften. Let your breathing slow. You are safe with me in your uncertainty. You are safe with me in your growth. You are safe with me in your waiting. And no storm, no failure, no loss can remove you from my care. Rest in that security, my beloved child. My beloved child, as this day draws to a close and the quiet of the night settles around you, I want to place something gently into your hands, my peace. Not a fragile peace that disappears at the first troubling thought. Not a temporary calm that fades when a memory resurfaces, but a deep, steady peace that anchors you from within. You have walked through many emotions today. You have reflected on your struggles, your growth, your wounds, your strength. And now, as you prepare to rest, I do not want your mind to return to chaos. I want you to carry peace into the night. Peace is not something you manufacture by force. It is something you receive. Imagine standing beside a quiet river at dusk. The surface is smooth, reflecting the fading light of the sky. Even if the world beyond that river is busy and loud, here there is stillness. That stillness is what I am offering your heart right now. My beloved child, let the thoughts that tried to dominate your day loosen their grip. The conversation that unsettled you can wait. The decision you must make does not need to be finalized tonight. The uncertainty about tomorrow does not need to be solved before you sleep. Give yourself permission to rest. You sometimes believe that staying mentally alert will protect you, that replaying scenarios will prepare you, that worrying long enough will somehow create control. But it only drains you. It steals the restoration your body and spirit need. Peace allows you to trust that I am working even when you are not. As you lie down, imagine placing your thoughts into my hands one by one. The concern about your future, the question about your relationships, the insecurity about your abilities. Place them gently before me. You do not need to hold them tightly through the night. My beloved child, let your breathing slow. Feel the rhythm of it. Inhale calm. Exhale tension. With each breath, remind yourself that you are not alone in this moment. I am here. Even as you sleep, I remain watchful. Even as your mind rests, I continue to guide what lies ahead. You do not need to guard the hours of the night with anxiety. They are covered. There may be moments when you wake briefly, when thoughts try to re-enter. When that happens, do not fight them harshly. Simply return your focus to my presence. Whisper a simple trust. Let your body settle again. Peace does not demand perfection. It flows when you release striving. My beloved child, your home is surrounded by my care. Your loved ones are seen. Your tomorrow is held. Nothing about your life is drifting outside of my awareness. Let the quiet of this night remind you that not everything requires your effort. Some things require your surrender. Carrying my peace with you as you close your eyes. Let it settle in your heart like a soft covering. Let it guard your dreams. Let it restore your strength. When you wake, may you feel lighter. May you sense renewal. May you remember that peace was not something you chased. It was something you receive. Rest deeply, my beloved child. My peace goes with you into this night. My beloved child, before this night fully passes and sleep carries you into tomorrow, I want you to pause and remember this moment. Not just the words you have heard, but the feeling that settled in your heart. The gentle reassurance. The steady calm. The quiet strength rising within you. This moment is not ordinary. It is a marker. A reminder that even in seasons of uncertainty, you are deeply held. There will be days ahead when the noise returns, when responsibilities press in again, and doubts try to resurface. And in those moments, I want you to remember tonight. Remember that you were seen. Remember that your silent battles were acknowledged. Remember that your tears were not ignored. Remember that your weakness was not rejected. Remember that your story is still being written. My beloved child, this moment is like a small stone placed along the path of your journey. When you feel lost or weary, you can look back and say, I was reminded that I am not alone. I was reminded that I am chosen. I was reminded that I am safe. Memory is powerful. What you choose to hold on to shapes how you walk forward. If you only remember your failures, you will shrink back. If you only remember your disappointments, you will hesitate. But if you remember truth, if you remember my presence, you will move with confidence. Imagine a traveler who keeps a compass in their pocket. They may wander through unfamiliar terrain, but when they pause and check the compass, they regain direction. Tonight is like that compass. It points you back to what is steady and unchanging. You will not always feel this calm so strongly. Emotions shift. Circumstances fluctuate. What truth remains? My love for you does not depend on your mood. My guidance does not fade when your confidence wavers. Hold on to that. My beloved child, gratitude will also strengthen this memory. Even in hardship, there are small gifts. A kind word, a quiet moment, a breath taken without fear. Train your heart to notice them. Gratitude anchors you to reality instead of fear. And when you look back one day at this season, you will see how far you have come. You will realize that what once felt overwhelming did not defeat you. You will see that growth was happening even when you could not measure it. This moment is part of that growth. Do not rush past it. Let it settle. Let it imprint upon your spirit. Let it remind you that even on ordinary nights, I am near. My beloved child, when tomorrow begins and new challenges appear, carry this memory with you. When fear tries to speak, answer it with what you learned here. When doubt whispers, respond with what you now know. You are not forgotten. You are not fragile beyond repair. You are not walking alone. Remember this moment as evidence. Evidence that I speak. Evidence that I care. Evidence that you are deeply loved. Carry it with you as you step into the days ahead. Let it steady your heart and quiet your mind. This night was not random. It was intentional. And so are you. My beloved child, as we come to the close of this sacred moment together, I want you to gather every truth you have heard and let it settle deeply into your spirit. Tonight, you were reminded that you are not alone in your silent battles. You were reminded that your tears carry meaning, that your weakness does not disqualify you, that your past does not define you, that your story is still unfolding in my careful hands. You were reminded that the storm is losing power, that restoration is already beginning, that doors are opening in due time. Above all, you were reminded that you are mine. When you walk forward from this night, do not shrink back into old fears. Do not pick up burdens you have already laid down. Do not return to believing that you must carry everything by yourself. You are deeply loved. You are protected. You are guided. You are chosen. Let these truths become the foundation beneath your steps. When tomorrow tries to rush you, remember my peace. When doubt tries to question your worth, remember my delight in you. When guilt tries to revisit your past, remember your freedom. When fear tries to rise again, remember that you are safe with me. My beloved child, lift your head. There is light ahead. There is growth within you. There is purpose before you. Nothing in your life is wasted. Nothing in your pain was unseen. Nothing in your future is beyond my care. Now receive this final blessing. May your mind rest in confidence. May your heart remain tender and strong. May your steps be guided with clarity. May your home be filled with peace. May your spirit awaken each day with renewed hope. And as this message has carried my voice into your life, it is also carrying hope into the lives of countless others who are searching for comfort just like you were. When you choose to sow into this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link placed in the description and shared through the QR code, you are helping my word reach hearts standing on the edge of despair. I have declared, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease, and your giving becomes living seed in fertile soil. This is your moment to partner with me in spreading light where darkness lingers. Do not let this stirring in your spirit pass without action. What you release in faith, I multiply with favor. I bless every hand that gives with provision, peace, and open heavens. Step forward now and support this work boldly, and watch how I honor your obedience. My beloved child, carry my love with you always. Walk in my peace. Trust my timing. Rest in my promises. Amen.